for hemming anything. Anything you want to hem, anytime you have to sew something super narrow and you want to make sure that you get it really nice and easy, this technique works. It's super easy and it's just really easy. So when you're doing the tiny hem, like for the demo, when you're doing a skirt hem, you definitely want to use it. But even when you're hemming your sleeves and your
Pockets.
shirt hem and not pockets.
Not pockets.
They don't get hemmed in that way. But when you're hemming like your shirt hem, you want to do this to get at least the first fold, then you can make the other fold larger. Alright, so all you do is you line up the edge of the foot with the edge of the fabric. That is exactly a 1/4 inch. So we just use that as the guide. And you're gonna baste it. So that's a large temporary stitch. So you want to put this at like a 4.5. Okay? And then you just sew. Do not backstitch. Don't stress anything. Just sew. Your only goal is to sew it straight because, and try to keep it, we don't want it together. Because that's going to be your baseline for your next piece of this puzzle. So just a nice, easy, straight basting stitch, okay? Then we're going to go to the end. Okay, we just have a basting stitch.
Trying to do it yourself.
So, you know when like you get something in the mail or something like a postcard or like in a magazine and it perforates and it rips out really easy? So this works kind of like perforation, where when I try and fold it, it wants to fold really easily on the stitch. So it makes pressing that 1/4 inch to get that initial hem really, really easy. Otherwise, what happens is you're up here and you're like with the hem gauge for 20 minutes trying to find the 1/4. You know what I mean? And it's awful and a nightmare. Versus, look, I just pressed that whole thing. I know the measurement is a 1/4 because I measured it with the machine when I stitched it. So even though it seems like an extra step, it's an extra step that saves me probably 20 minutes. Just give it a really good press like that. And there's that entire first fold of my hem. For this demo, we want to do a narrow hem. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I'm just taking off.
And it was like day 1 was
Between
good,
8th
day
and
2 was like
16th.
tired, day 3, tomorrow I'm like, please. I don't want to do day Friday.
If I was doing like a shirt hem, depending on the shirt, I may not do it this much. You may, like especially on the scrubs, you're gonna want a bigger hem. You're gonna want like this to be maybe like a 1/2 inch. And so you wouldn't need to trim any off, okay? You just wanna have that base so you know it's really straight. But on the demo, we wanna try and do an 1/8 inch. So after you press it, you're gonna fold it up one more time, and you want it to be between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch, so really, really tiny.
An 1/8 to a 1/4?
Mm-hmm. It's hot when it's so tiny.
Yeah, I hate the way little kids' bathrooms smell. They like make me
And now I'm just gonna go and stitch my hem down. You see how easy it was? I didn't have to worry about the hem gauge and fighting with the hem gauge and all the measurements, and it's perfectly straight. Cool? Okay, so we're gonna go sew it. So, the mistake that I see a lot when people do this demo is they want to sew at the bottom, but if you have anything that you're wearing has a hem on it, look at your hem and see if this, like, imagine that if I stitch this here, what would happen? This would flip out. And it would look, so you don't want to do that, right? So you need to stitch on that top edge of the hem up here, okay? You always have to stitch as close to that edge as you possibly can. The question that everyone asks is, do I sew this way or do I sew this way? You get the same result whichever way that you sew, but you'll always sew better on the side that's facing up. But if you sew it this way and you're not good at measurements, you're likely to miss. So you have to decide for yourself. I just care that it's straight. Make sure you put this back on regular stitch. And then sew it straight. And if your measurements are right, you can just use that inside line of the feed zone as your guide. And it is a really, if you do it right, it's a very easy demo. That's it.